Hello friends, today in part 4 of the Q&A episode, we look into the 10 commonly asked questions on rooftop or terrace gardening ideas and problems like, is terrace gardening bad for the building? Can I grow fruit trees on terrace? What type of soil to use for terrace farming? How to build terrace garden and how much does it cost? And many other interesting questions. All that's coming up. If you are interested in gardening, please take a second to click on the subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it so that you receive notifications on my new uploads. Now let's begin. What is terrace gardening or rooftop gardening? In simple words, it means gardening or farming or growing plants on your terrace or rooftop. If you live in a city without access to land for growing plants, a roof or terrace garden is the best option for you. Is terrace gardening bad for the building? What are the drawbacks of terrace gardening? Well, the answer depends on two important factors. Firstly, the weight of your terrace garden. I mean the total weight including the containers, potting soil, plants and all the load. Secondly, the construction quality of your building, whether it's built very well including the concrete columns, the thickness of the walls and the thickness of the slab, the span of the room and so on. Generally, you might have to be careful only if your building is too old or if you're just not confident enough on this aspect. Otherwise, if carefully planned, there should not be any problem of loads arising due to the terrace gardening. Especially if you grow plants in containers and place them along the walls on the terrace, whatever the weight of the container might be. How do I start terrace gardening in a limited space or small space? Simplest way is to start with some plants or veggies in containers. If you want to expand, you need to plan it well, especially if the space is limited. You might want to consider the 2-step or 3-step pot stands to arrange your plants in a step-like fashion to save space. And it's just common sense and you can apply your own ideas to save space. What type of plants can I choose for terrace gardening? You can grow any plant on your terrace garden, whether ornamental plant or vegetable gardening or even fruit trees in large containers. How can I plant fruit trees like the mango or the banana trees on a terrace garden? Yes, you can grow them, but you need largest possible containers, at least 24-inch diameter and 24-inch height by dimensions. To reduce the load on your building, consider using fabric bags of about at least 24-inch or even 30-inch diameter. These can be purchased from Amazon. I have linked that below in video description. Also, choose a lightweight potting mix. And the placement of such heavy containers also should be done smartly, like next to or on top of a column or over and along the main building walls. Should I waterproof the terrace before starting a terrace garden? Not necessarily, unless you want to build a raised bed terrace garden. If you grow in containers, you only need to check whether the water draining out of the pots is easily flowing out of the terrace and it is not stagnant. What type of soil should I use for terrace gardening? As discussed already, that to reduce the load, you might need to use lightweight potting mix. One such formula is 40% coco peat or peat moss, 20% perlite or vermiculite, 20% garden soil and 20% compost, that is 40-20-20-20-20. What are the practical ways to attract birds on your terrace or your garden? This is in fact a vast topic. We'll discuss in detail in some other episode. Simplest way is to keep some water for the birds or even bird feeders or a bird house, keeping them some seeds and so on. Can we install a drip irrigation system on terrace garden? In fact, this is one of the best options for watering on your terrace, especially if your plants are in hot sun with no green shade net. And moreover, the watering hose pressure is very low on the terrace and it takes a long time to water your plants. You might require to install a pump to get the proper pressure to water your plants. And drip irrigation system is a good option and it's not that difficult to install and not that expensive. You can get many options to purchase online like 100 pots, 300 pots, 500 pots options and sets. I have linked this to in the video description below. How do I build my terrace garden permanently with green shade house and how much does it cost? Well, I have a detailed video on this topic titled The Making of My Shade House Terrace Garden. You can check that at the end screen or even in the description link. Also, please watch all the episodes of this Q&A series from part 1 onwards from a playlist link right here at the top right corner of this video. So there we have it, folks. Please like, share and comment on this video. Consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. Happy gardening!